So welcome to the day 10 session on APM with Python. We are going to talk today about the concept of what is that we understand by mobile test automation. What are the complexities we can face when we are going to test? What are the different types of tools available in the market? And then we are going to have an introduction to the testing. So nowadays, even if we close an eyes for a second, we cannot imagine our world without our smartphone. We are basically using mobile for everything, for travel, for pleasure, for keeping in touch, to monitor even our health and sleeping patterns, to book your hotel, to book your flight, to catch your cab, to buy groceries, to your perfect evening dresses. You are basically using mobile for everything to ensure that your professional life is not disturbed because of your personal commitments, sending emails, attending meetings, or learning tools in your mobile. You do it all through it. And with the help of this unlimited internet connection and the availability of so many different type of mobile devices and different budget, everybody is on phone right now, whether it's your wage worker or your CEO. So there are different types of operating systems. Now, if we talk about from the sense of being engineers, what is that we see when we look at a mobile device? When you look at a mobile device, we see that it has got different type of operating systems available on it. For example, you have got devices on Android, you have got devices on iOS, you have got devices on Windows operating system. Then you have got different types of devices. You have got handheld devices, you have got wearable devices, you have got devices that sit on a desk. Then you have got different types of screen resolutions available with because of this different range of devices. And then there is a concept which appears specifically for Android, which is called as device fragmentation because of its ever-changing operating system. So all these complexities have to be taken into consideration, or people who do mobile testing, they take all these complexities into consideration to ensure that whenever they are going to release an app or a patch of an app, it is effectively working. Because let's be fair, if you have searched for an application and it doesn't work as expected, how much time do you think you take to uninstall the app? Unlike in computers where it's a little bit of a process to install application, in mobile devices it takes few seconds to install an application, and at the same time if the application is not working, you immediately uninstall it. You don't even want to send a feedback or a review, so the process is very much faster. So the attention span which a app developer has for you is very less. So, and also there is so much of competition that for the same service, there is so many applications which are available out there, and not every application is the best application. So there is a consistent pressure of being ready with the market, for always being go to market. So because of all these added complexities, because of this market pressure, you just cannot imagine in having a mobile testing team without having automation in place and a test lab in place. It just doesn't work that way. So if you don't choose to automate, you rather choose to disappear in the oblivion, because that's how it is basically. According to the HP Capgemini report, around 50% of the enterprises still do not have the right tools or device labs to test their mobile applications. And 45% of enterprises which are doing mobile testing do not have the right processes and right expertise to test their mobile applications. So either are people not aware, they do not have a dedicated lab, which is not recommended unless you are an extremely big organization with a lot of secure features into place. You do not have the appropriate mobile testing experts, you do not have or you do not know the right combination of tools, you do not have enough time to test. You do not have the devices available to ensure that on different platforms, on different screen resolutions, on different types of Android OS, your application is working. Or you even do not do mobile testing. So that's something which is like not to be discussed as well, that we are not even doing the testing of the mobile apps which we are developing, because that's basically death zone to go. So what are all the complexities which we have seen, which effectively is related, if I can say, to the mobile device as such. So if we talk just about the mobile devices, what are the complexities which we have listed? OS is one complexity. Device fragmentation comes under the subsection of OS, because it is because of the different versions of Android available. Then you have got different screen resolution. You also have something called as GPU, which is the processing unit of the mobile OS available, and the speed of it makes the difference. Then what else you have? You have got the type of device, whether it is wearable or it's a handheld device. So these are some of the complexities which are related to the device in general. Now let's talk about the type of complexities which comes into picture because of the different types of mobile applications which can be developed or can be created. So when we talk about the different types of mobile applications which are available out there in the market, we find out that we basically have applications which are native apps, which are hybrid apps, web-based, which are web-based apps. Native apps are those apps which are basically inherent to the mobile device. They come installed with the mobile device. They generally take a long time to develop but can deliver higher user experience, and they require a specific expertise to be developed. For example, you all have seen the phone application in your phones, or the message application which comes inherently associated with your phone, the contact application, etc. You have seen it, you must have used it. These are your basic applications which come installed, or your camera. So these are all the these are all the native apps. Okay. So that's what native apps are. Hybrid apps are those apps which have something called as a web view around a native control, which also facilitates interaction with the web at the same time. Some of the applications which are created out there, which you generally install from the Play Stores, etc., are hybrid apps. Okay, they get installed on your system, and then you are able to also get associated with their web-based view and work on it. So these are effectively your hybrid apps. Then you have got hybrid apps which are web-based, which effectively work on a browser, or it gives you a very nice browser looking interface, but they are executed in a native shell using the mobile own native entities it is being used. Then you have got browser apps, which basically you open on your mobile browsers and you are able to access those websites. So you must have seen some of the websites, they tell you that this is your desktop view, or would you like to shift to a mobile view. You must have used it and done that. So especially when you open it on a computer, it asks you, do you want to open your desktop view? And then the same application looks a little bit different as per the layout when you open it on your mobile app. So these are your web-based applications or browser-based applications. So largely speaking, you have got native apps, then you have got hybrid apps, and you have got browser-based apps, okay, which are the different types of mobile applications which are available or are associated with your mobile devices. So generally under these categories only the applications are developed. Now this chart effectively tells us the market share which different types of operating system enjoy in the world so as to understand how do we create our test labs. So Android is the most popular, followed by Apple, followed by Windows. And worldwide, you have more than 50% of users which are using Android devices, around 30% of users using Apple devices. And then the different types of mobile devices which are available out there in the market. So based on this chart and more recent information, you can create your mobile test automation labs, which you can then use to perform testing of your solutions. Then there are different types of screen sizes and resolutions available out there in the market, which can effectively impact the behavior, the UI of the application you have developed. Okay. So GPU is effectively a processor which is used when you are using applications which are having good user experience. So there are different types of GPUs which are available and their speed varies with the type of GPU it's installed on your device and the kind of experience you get. Then also you have got something called as locations. For example, you might want to open or you might want Facebook to act in a local language when you are opening it outside your country or in your own language rather than default English. So localization also adds to the complexities which are already available in the world of mobile. So because of the growing number of mobile applications following of the Scrum cycles or the Agile development cycles, the complexities of the world of mobile, ensuring that globalization as a feature is integrated in the applications. With all these complexities, there is the only solution or the only way forward is that we have to automate our stuff. Now, to perform automation or to create those scripts, there are different types of mobile automation tools which are available. So you have got tools like Monkey Runner, UI Automator, Calabash, APM, Robotium, Renorex, Monkey Talk, etc. So these are all effectively the tools which I have stated in here are the free tools which are available out there in the market to allow you automate your mobile application. So how do you choose a tool? How do you select a tool which is the best tool out there in the market for your needs? So most likely we would like to cover both Android and iOS applications. So we would like to cover a major sector of the market that at least it is able to automate Android and iOS. Whether it's a first party tool or a third party tool. Should it be come along bundled with the operating system, or do we have to install it separately? What type of recognition this tool allows us? Does it allow recognition based on coordinates or it allows recognition based on objects? Now here is a question for you. Can you tell me the challenge you might face if the recognition is coordinate based? Instead of object based recognition? You are not sure what do I mean by coordinate-based recognition. Well, coordinate-based recognition basically means to find an object based upon its position in the application. So based upon the position of the object in your application, you are able to recognize the object. Do you see that it is a challenge because your object recognition method will definitely change based upon your screen resolutions, right? So the same test may not be very much useful to run on different types of screen resolutions or different types of devices. So that's a definite challenge. Whereas object-based information, what do we mean by that? For that, we will talk about a very interesting concept called as locators. And if in case you are aware of Selenium already, you might understand it a little better right now itself. That you are basically able to recognize the object based on the properties it displays. So for example, if you are talking about a web-based object, the HTML properties it is displaying. Or if you are talking about a mobile object of an Android operating system, then the Android properties it is displaying. So these properties which are associated with the object based upon the software used to create that object is not going to change because of a screen resolution or the type of device. So it is a much more reliable approach to automate your applications because you are not changing the information associated with your scripts frequently. You do not want the test automation script you have created for the same flow for different devices, right? You do not want to have 10 different versions of the same functionality to be tested because the screen size is getting changed. Doesn't make sense. Okay? So that's the difference between coordinate based and object based automation. So based on these properties, what are the tools which are selected? So UI Automator, APM, Monkey Talk and Monkey Runner are the only few tools which are available out there in the market which support the filter set which we are searching for. In here, let us see what are the ways these tools work. So Monkey Runner is based on Python. It can be used for both functional and UI testing, but it is based upon coordinate-based automation. And it provides an API to control an Android device or an emulator. So the strengths are it's easy to set up. You can test multiple devices at a time. But the limitations are it only supports Android. There is a different script for a different device. Even a slight change in the UI is going to break the script. Then you have got UI Automator, which is effectively provided with Google and it is integrated with Google's own Android IDE and it is based upon object-based automation. You use Java as a language. It only supports Android version 4.3 and above. It does not support advanced user gestures like long press, etc. But it is a good tool to test any Android-based applications and it comes bundled up with the Android IDE. Then you have got APM, which is effectively provided by Sauce Labs. And one of the benefits of APM was that it is based upon the engine, or it is based upon the architecture which Selenium follows. So all the advantages which Selenium bring into picture for us are there for APM. Also, if you know Selenium, it's very much easy to pick up APM, and vice versa is true as well. So, what are the benefits which we get with APM as a tool? It is basically based upon something called as a JSON protocol, which we will talk about, which allows it to communicate with different programming languages and different interfaces. So when you are using APM as a tool, you can write your scripts using Python, using Java, using C Sharp, using Ruby. All these languages are supported by APM. It supports automation of both the platforms, whether iOS or Android, again because of its architecture. And since it is totally derived from Selenium code, so all the benefits of object-based identification on which Selenium is based, along with the Selenium commands and advanced mobile commands are all supported by APM. The different components which we are going to install on our tool are APM server, client libraries, and the inspector. So what are the benefits? It supports both iOS and Android apps. It is one of the most versatile tool available out there in the market to test any type of mobile application, whether native, hybrid, or web. It doesn't require you to have an access to the code or recompile your application. It allows you to do parallel testing in Android devices. Limitation: it doesn't support parallel test in iOS. You cannot use it for version less than 4.1 for Android, but there is another tool called Selendroid available to be used. Image comparison is a feature is not available, and there is no option to switch off the network connection. So the limitation is very much less as compared to the other tools which we see on the market, and the advantages which we get with APM far more succeed it. So how to choose the right tool? You might budget might play a havoc. You might have to have a free tool versus a paid tool. Which type of applications or what is your target OS, whether it's Android, iOS, or both? How much time do you have available? What is the flexibility of tester with writing of the scripting using different programming languages? If you're using a free tool, do you have good community support available? Is it widely used? Do you have a first party or a third party tool? So all these things come into picture. Now before we proceed further, do you guys have any questions in here? Anything which is not clear? Any one of you has any questions? On the iOS part, it doesn't allow you to do parallel testing, but it supports automation of iOS applications. Just doesn't allow parallel testing. Yes, Marian. Okay, so let's move forward. So we are going to talk about the test process now. We should be aware of what our mobile application is all about. We should be able to choose the right automation tool. Write the test scripts which cover the different flows in the application. Run the script for passing. With the next release, we update the script and we repeat the process until the application is live on the Play Store. Now, in this chart, we effectively talk about the um, different tools and what are all the benefits which we get. So, APM supports all three platforms. It is free of cost. It supports almost any scripting languages, and you do not have to make any changes in your application. Similarly, there is a tool called as Calabash, Monkey Runner, and Robotium, which are free. Calabash is another popular tool. A very strong difference between Calabash and APM is that Calabash is effectively Ruby based and doesn't support multiple programming languages and also doesn't support anything which is web based. Only mobile apps are supported by Calabash. Robotium and Monkey Runner only supports Android tools. Monkey Talk and Xamarin Test Cloud are effectively subscription based or test hour based tools. So these are again tools which are available but they are commercial in nature. So APM is a very popular open source tool available to automate our applications which are whether native or mobile web or hybrid applications on iOS and Android devices. It is cross-platform. It allows us to write the test against multiple platforms using the same API, which effectively means your actual script doesn't change because your underlying OS is changing. So there is a sense of reusability available. And this is the official website of APM. You must have had a look at it now, like earlier as well, when you try to install the required softwares like APM server, etc. It's a beautiful site. You have effectively all the information which you require to start working with APM here. And if you go ahead and look at the introduction, there is this APM philosophy, which is these 4 points. So I give you guys around 5-10 minutes. I want you guys to have a look at this chapter, Introduction to APM, and browse through it and understand when I say about APM philosophy, what does this philosophy mean, because we are going to talk about it. So have a breeze through of this introduction page on APM. Have a look at it right now and then we will talk further. Go ahead, have a look at it. Okay, so let's have a look at the APM philosophy which we have just read. So APM was designed to meet mobile automation needs and according to the philosophy which is outlined by four major tenets. You should not have to recompile your application or modify in any way in order to automate it. You shouldn't be logged into a specific language or framework to write or run your test. A mobile automation framework shouldn't reinvent the wheel when it comes to the automation of APIs. And an automation framework should be open source in spirit, practice, as well as in name. So on these four philosophies, APM is effectively built and it follows it to the core. So requirement one is that you have to be using the vendor provided automation frameworks under the hood, which means that you should not be required to compile your application using any specific framework provided by APM, which effectively means we are testing the same application which we are shipping. So APM allows usage of the vendor-owned frameworks which are XCTest by Apple, UI Automator by Google, Instrumentation for Cylindroid, and Winamp Driver for Microsoft. Because of the availability of these frameworks, you are testing the same application you are going to ship. Requirement number two. What is our requirement number two? You should not be logged into a specific language or a framework to write or run your test. How does APM matches this requirement? Since APM is based upon the architecture of Selenium WebDriver, which provides us with the WebDriver client-server protocol, which also is known as the JSON wire protocol. Because of this availability of JSON wire protocol, a client-server architecture is followed where the client can be written in any programming language. The purpose of that client is to send the HTTP request in a proper format. So you can use your client in Python, in Java, in C Sharp, in Perl or in Ruby, whichever way you would like to be pleased with, whichever test framework you would want to use with it. All you have to ensure is that you are following the architecture of JSON wire protocol. So these client libraries were already available for Selenium in popular programming languages which were just extrapolated for APM. So APM and WebDriver, they are not test frameworks, they are effectively automation libraries which facilitate you to manage your test environments the way you like. So how does the JSON wire protocol is used? So you have your clients created using the WebDriver protocol in multiple languages like Java, C Sharp, Ruby, and it sends the HTTP request to the APM server. APM server on receiving the request, depending upon for which operating system or device you have sent the request, passes on to either the UI automator or the XUI test based upon the OS. What was our requirement 3? The requirement 3 was a mobile automation framework should not reinvent the wheel when it comes to the automation of API. So it is met in the same way. WebDriver has now become the de facto standard for automating your web browsers, and it is already being implied by the W3C Consortium to ensure that all web browsers come with their own web drivers to ensure that they are automated through it. So instead of writing something totally different from mobile, we just extended the protocol with an extra API to have methods available for mobile automation. And our requirement number 4 was that it should be open source both in name, practice and spirit, and APM is indeed an open source tool. It at no point asks you any money to be given to it to use any of its features. The advantages of APM are it is open source, it has got very well supported and active user group. It's based upon the latest Selenium version, so it is future proof. It supports both Android and iOS device, and it doesn't require anything to be installed on the device or any type of application change. Some of the drawbacks: it doesn't support intelligent wait. You cannot run your test in parallel on iOS. There is a limited support for gestures, and there is a limited support cell, uh, for Android version less than 4.1. So for that you use Cell Android. So do you guys have any questions specifically on this APM philosophy and how all these APM philosophies are met? APM doesn't inherently understand that an action has been completed. That is what is meant by intelligent wait. So all this is clear to you guys, I believe. Any more questions? So what we are, if you need to wait for some data, so you have to put lot of weights in your code. We will talk about it, Marian, when we come to the concept of weights. We will discuss about it. So what we will do right now is we will take a short break of 10 minutes, and after the break we will move on to setting our system, checking everything, and if time permits we are going to create an Android emulator so as we can start working at the script level going forward. Okay, so I'll see you guys in next 10 minutes. Thank you. Okay, resuming the sessions. Let us check our system's installation. So these were the steps which were shared with you guys, right? So out of which we already have the first three taken care of because we started working with the Python in Eclipse. So that is already taken care of. The next three steps which we had to ensure were we should have Android Studio available. We should have set the Android home variable in our system, and we should have the uh, APM server installed on our system. So the steps were these. So first three are already taken care of. The next three we had to do where we have to install Android Studio. We have to set the Android path on our system. For Mac users, it will be a different approach for which the link was shared, and to download and install the APM server. Have you done all these last three steps as well, Marian and Samir? Okay. So if you have done all these three, can you double click on your Android Studio and tell me, do you see the same interface as mine? Double click on your Android Studio. Open it. In here, we'll go to the concept of tools, in which you click on something called as the AVD Manager, which is the Android Virtual Device Manager. Do you all see this interface? So we are going to have one physical device and we are going to have a virtual device created. So right now what we are going to try is creating a virtual device. So here you can see I already have a virtual device available. The name of my device is Nexus MU, Nexus Emulator. I am using the API version 28 and this is my device configuration. Okay. So what you are going to do is you are going to try creating a new virtual device. We might require to install some of the packages for Android, which takes a little bit amount of time. So let's see if we will be able to do it today, or you might extend it till tomorrow. So click on this, create virtual device. Select Nexus 5X. Click on next. Now you have to select an system image. So do you have these system images or some of the system images available on your setup? Are you guys able to see this or you have nothing available and everything comes as download? You see API 28, for you it is coming as download, Marian, all the images? Or do you see this API 28 with x86 available? Yes, what? Do you have API 28 or all you have? Okay. Then what you guys have to do is you have to allow download API 28. Okay. And while you are doing that, ensure. So API 28 is good enough for us. It's the latest level. So allow it to be downloaded. Let me know when it is done. It might take few minutes, but you should be able to see the progress. You do not see API 28. Okay. Can you go to this x86 image section? Do you see API 28 here? You do not. I'm making you the presenter so that I can see your screen. Allow your screen to be visible. Have you started sharing your screen, Marian? Hmm. You have got this. The name is Pi. It is just that for us it is coming as API 28. For you it is coming as Pi. That's the name of the Android OS. Just click on download in here to download this. Accept. Next. So it takes a little while. So allow it to be installed and let me know when it is done. So is it installed or is it taking some time? Okay. So by the time this installed, let us check whether we have got the Android Home setting done. Fine. Yes, it will take some time. So let it be. Let this thing carry on. Meanwhile, let us see the other tool, SDK Manager. Okay. So you can also see when you open SDK that what are all the packages which are available out there on your system and what is installed or what is not installed and how you can work with it. Okay. So this is your SDK manager which is available. So here in this you have got an SDK location. For example, on my system the location is C user write app data local Android SDK. Basically, when you set the path of your Android home, you must have used this Android SDK location to set the path. Is that right? So C users write app data local Android SDK is the path to where your SDK is installed on your system. So you must be having the path available as per your systems. So copy this path or have this path handy just to ensure that you have set the Android home correctly. No, I have not stopped sharing the screen. I am also the presenter. Can't you see my screen? Can you see my screen now? You can see, right? So Marian can see. Can you also see, Samir? Okay. So in this, I asked you click on tools, click on SDK manager. There you will have a Android SDK location available. So for my system, my Android SDK is available at C users write app data local Android SDK. Similarly, you will have the SDK available at a location in your system which you must have used while you were trying to set up the Android home. So take this path and we spoke about setting the Android home. So let's check whether we have done it correctly or not. So on Windows operating system, this was the link which I shared with you guys to set up the path of your Android SDK. So Samir, you are on Windows. This was for you. And Marian, you are on Mac. This one is for Mac. Right. If you have done it, great. I'm just sharing in case you haven't. I know you must be facing an issue. So let's be on the same page. So if you have set up the Android Home, just do this. I'll be back in a minute. 1 minute, please. Fine, Samir. So you have basically set up the Android home like you have told me as per the link. Fine. We will do AVD a little later. We will do it together. So let Marian also be ready. So we have the SDK path set. Great. So let us go to this path at the back end to see what is actually there in that folder. So I am doing it for my system. You guys please do it for your system. When I open this folder, you should see something like this. So you have build tools, you have emulators, you have an extras folder, you have fonts, then you have something called as platform, and you have something called as platform tools. Platform tools is a little important. Do you all see ADB in here? In the platform tools, do you see ADB? So ADB basically stands for Android Debug Bridge. We use it to connect to our Android device. So when we will do it, I will tell you. But this is one of the tools or EXEs which we will require, which is available inside your SDK platform tools. So this is the path where we have got what we call as ADB, which is Android Debug Bridge. The usage is to find out about the IDs of the connected devices. So Android Debug Bridge basically provides a unique ID to the different Android devices, whether an emulator or an actual device when gets connected on your system. So now when you open command prompt, if you simply type ADB, you should see the command getting executed. If your path is set up correctly, open the command prompt and just type in ADB there. Okay. Working? Great. Marian, for you? Okay. I've made you the presenter. Let's see your screen. Did you set up the path as shared on the link? Hello?
Yeah, I did. I was showing you the screen where I did. Is this the bash file?
Okay.
So I'm here. I open another terminal and so it was working before. I set it up and I even set it up with my real device. And it was working fine. I don't know why it's not working now.
It's working.
Yeah, I was working before. I think I have to be in that file, right? In that shell.
Yeah, you have to be in that shell because of the corrupt bash you are having. So be on that shell.
Okay. And ADB. I still says no. What did I do before? I was in here and I did ADB and it came up.
Type PWD. What's your present working directory? You are already in this path. That's why your ADB, you're on this path.
Yeah. So,
Uh,
so my ADB should work, right? Because that's what I did before. Why is it not working? Or should I instead, I need to have like a device in it.
no. No, why was it working before and not working now? Is my question.
I don't, I don't even know myself. What did I do? What did I do? I did this, I did that, I did this. Yeah.
Can you close all this?
Okay.
Open a terminal. Open a new terminal. Now do the settings which we always do so that your terminal accepts the bash commands. No, first do that. Okay, fine. Now, can you open your bash file? In the same terminal, open your bash file. Okay, go back.
Oh.
Go back to your terminal prompt.
Oh, I forgot how to get out of this place. Mm. Anyway, let me open another one.
No, don't do that. That's the problem. Go back to the same terminal.
I forgot how to get out of here.
Escape :Q exclamation. It's written here. Control this capital X is your exit. It's written here. Capital X. If you see the commands below,
Yeah.
capital capital X. Type that. Not able to come out?
Mm. How do I get that X thing to work?
Close this terminal. We'll try another approach because we have to.
Okay.
Do what we always do. Now I've shared two commands with you. You have to say export Android underscore home, but before you do that, you have to basically copy the path of your Android SDK. So where is your Android SDK? Have that path handy and create this command. Export Android underscore home and provide the path. So first create this command somewhere in your notes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so open some notepad kind of a thing and create this command for you, which you will then copy on your terminal.
Okay.
So change the path to your path in the first command. What are you doing? Just copy this complete path users and place it after the equal to symbol. There must be a space or a new line. Yeah. Now copy this entire path, entire command, paste it on your terminal. Now paste the second command. Now type ADB. Can you type path?
I know it worked before. I tested it. I made sure everything was working. I don't know. I will figure it out later. I will just fix it later. I don't want to hold up something on the line. I know it works. I will just figure it out later.
Type this command as well. The last one which I shared, type this command as well on the same terminal.
Okay.
Now type ADB. Working. Okay.
Okay.
So we have fixed it. So you please note down these steps. You have to do always whenever you open your terminal until unless you fix your bash thing. Okay. So these are the three steps besides the earlier step which we always do so that your bash works or your terminal works. Okay.
Okay.
So you have to keep this handy now. So make a note of it, Mariam, please. And let me know whether your API is the package which we were trying is installed or not. And this is the link which I use, so please keep it handy. So for both of you, the ADB from the command prompt is working. It is important. So is the API installed for Samir? It is installed for Marian. Is it installed for you as well? Marian, are you there? Is the installation over for you as well? The API 28? Great. So now let's proceed towards creating the Android virtual device. So you click on here, create virtual device. You will get a list of different devices available. In here, select Nexus 5X. Okay. Do you see this Nexus 5X, or both of you? Click on next. It will ask you to select a system image. Select API 28. Click on next. It will then ask you to provide a AVD name. So give a name. For example, I'm giving a name Demo Nexus. Okay. And I'm going to say finish. So my Demo Nexus gets available as an AVD in here. And if I click on this play icon, it will tell me that you can launch the AVD in an emulator, which I still say go ahead and launch. So I will get this AVD created. So you have to all reach till this step. Okay. So do it till here, guys, please. Create your AVDs. Use Nexus 5X. Select API 28. Then launch it by clicking on the play icon. You all should have this emulator working. So this is your Android virtual device which gets created. You can play around with it. You can click on the phone icon. It will launch the phone pad. You can click on contacts. You can open your dialer pad. You can go and have a look at your settings. So it's effectively a virtual phone which you have now available. You can open this app calculator, which is a native app, perform operations, etc., etc. So let me know if you all are able to do it. Samir, what about you? Samir, are you there? emulator error. Let's see what does it mean. Okay, here is the link, Samir. Please follow the steps that are mentioned in this link so that if you get this error, you have to basically perform certain steps so that your SDK manager is working. So please perform these steps. It might take a little time. Let's see if we are able to do it. So you need to have Intel x86 emulator accelerator available. Once that is available, this error should get fixed. Please try this. So Marian, if it is working on your system, can you try this command now, ADB devices? You should see list of devices attached. You should see emulator with some number and device. For example, like we see on my screen. So this is where we are aiming to reach today, that we are able to create an AVD and we are able to run the ADB command on our command prompt. Let me know if this works for you. And Samir, this is also the endpoint which you have reached. So let me know when this works for you. You see it? Great. So that's, we are going to do it today. Is the HAXM installation started, Samir? Okay, great. Is it taking a while or is it the speed okay? You have reboot the system. Okay, fine. Let's wait. Oh, you have to reboot the system and you will be disconnected. Okay, go ahead. Reboot it. Connect back again. Marian, that's all we are going to do till today. So if you would like to leave, you can. If this is working for you, great. That's all we are going to do today. Sure. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, Samir, no problem. Uh, in my other, okay. So I also used to get the same error. What's your operating system? Is it Windows 7 or 10? Windows 10. Okay. Should be able to fix it. So just follow these steps, and I hope that when we meet tomorrow, you are able to fix it. Ensure that when you type in ADB devices, you are able to see this, the list of devices on your system, okay? This information. So this is where we have to reach. Okay then, thanks for today. I will see you tomorrow then. Thank you so much. Do you have any questions? Okay then, thank you so much. Bye.